Hey everyone, C-Double-D Music Reviews here. I'm C-Double-D, and this is actually going to be a segment that I like to just round up all these albums and talk about why I'm not going to review them and just briefly go over what I think about them. N.E.T, not enough time. So, let's get down to that, but before I get into that, I want to give a shout out to Mr. Leonardo DiCaprio for finally winning his Oscar. I have to give it to the Academy for finally recognizing this man's talent after 25 years of being in the game, and I'm glad he was able to win, especially given the performance he has done in The Revenant. So there's that, so let's get on with it. By the way, as with the previous N.E.T, I'm not going to be editing this video or the album of the month video as well, so you'll have to deal with my stuttering and all that. Okay, first off, the new Dr. Dog album, Psychedelic Swamp. Dr. Dog is the psychedelic outfit, psychedelic rock and neo-psychedelic outfit. Been in the industry for a while, been making psychedelic music for a while, and this is their latest new album in a while, and I did try it out. I did enjoy it, but I really didn't see a lot of reason to go back to it. I mean, it lives up to its name. It's psychedelic and it's swamp themed, so there's that. I won't say that it's like a yin and yang kind of fusion, like they don't just fuse them together seamlessly. It's more like putting syrup on a pancake than it is eating chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream. It's next, and neither of those will be kind of psychedelic, but still it's an interesting release, even if it's not like great or anything. If you're already into the band, then do check out this album, and if you're trying to explore into psychedelic music or modern day psychedelic music, do check this out, but I would recommend listening to other stuff from artists like Tame Impala, maybe some Wild Nothing, especially their new album, and a few others, most certainly. Just not really an album that is going to excite me, honestly. So there's that. The new Breakbot album, Stillwater. Breakbot is a French producer, French house producer, kind of a disco, funk, synth pop kind of producer. This is his latest full-length album, and I liked this quite a bit at first, but then I listened to it again and I realized that the vocals really underscore what it is Breakbot is going for. I actually would have preferred that this would have been more of an instrumental album than just, in a way, Breakbot playing second fiddle to these vocalists, but especially since these vocalists are kind of campy sounding, honestly, so there's that. But do check this out if you're into 80s synth or disco and funk and French house. It's certainly an appetizer, a lengthy appetizer, which is one of the reasons why one of my complaints about this album is how lengthy it is. So yeah, give it a try. If you might like it more than me, and hopefully you do. The new Magrudrgrind album too. Magrudrgrind is the DC grindcore power violence trio, and this is their first new album in a while, like 8 years, I believe. And first I was going to review this. I was strongly considering reviewing this, but when I realized that I didn't really feel the need to go back to this album very often, I just didn't see much reason to review it. I mean, it's only 26 minutes long, and it's doing stuff that I'm already anticipating nails and full of hell to do in the future. So, but it certainly scratches an itch, and if you're looking for that itch to be scratched, if you're into power violence and grindcore already, if you're into the band already, then do check this out. You'll get something out of it. if you need someone to put you over for when Nails finally drops their new album, or Full of Hell drops their new album in their collaborative album with The Body in March, yeah, check this album out. The new Yuck album, Stranger Things. Yuck is a UK indie rock band, and I wasn't that into it. I mean, it was like almost 50 minutes of just everything I've ever heard from indie rock, just done. Maybe it's kind of fresh, but it's not really doing anything that's intriguing me that I haven't already heard before. So, yeah, unfortunately, it's not that good of an album. If you are a Yuck fan, check it out, but if you are not a Yuck fan, if you're interested in Yuck, then maybe try it out. But if you're like a if you're super into indie rock, check it out. But if you're really elitist about indie rock, then this might not be for you. I mean, it's certainly got its merits and certainly does its influences justice for the most part, but it's not really something I'm looking forward to returning to often. The new Pinkshinyultrablast album. This really knocked me out of the water when I first heard it. I didn't hear their previous album, but I thought I'd give this a try. It seemed to be really fascinating shoegaze, and it is fascinating shoegaze. This isn't like your new gaze kind of shoegaze. It's not like dive shoegaze or anything like that. It's like Adidas level shoegaze, Nike level shoegaze, and it really blasts at you with such ferocity that I can't really deny it being certainly intriguing, though. My big complaint with this album is that it does this track for track for track, and after a while it just gets kind of one-dimensional, as much as I love blasts of different kinds of sounds from shoegaze and ambient and synth music that just coming after me. But it's not really something with a lot of variety, and I think these compositions in comparison kind of suffer from it. But still, if you are super into shoegaze, then check this album out. If you're already into Pinkshinyultrablast, then check it out. But if you are trying to get into modern day shoegaze, then do give this a try. I mean, you'll certainly find that this is much more refreshing than what other dream pop bands consider themselves as shoegaze, like Dive and a few other bands. I know I keep bringing up Dive as the new gaze band that could have been better, but that's just me. The new Garratt album. This is the debut album from PB art musician, trip hop musician Jack Garratt, and this album tried way too hard to be something that people already are. Your FK Twigs, your Weekends, your Kalelas. While this was a decent enough release, I just don't see much reason to be intrigued with what it's doing. It's like I appreciate Jack's talent. You know, I appreciate Jack's talent. He's certainly got a good head on his shoulders when it comes to what it is he plans on making and what he's going for. But I feel like, number one, he tries too hard for no good reason, and it's just not ideas that are really adding anything different or pioneering to what's already a particularly popular and trendy genre of music. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I can see some tracks getting radio play. This album already has some singles. I could see the appeal in it. I could see people that are already into this sound really eating this up. But me personally, it's not really that engaging, except for maybe a few other tracks. I mean, there's moments where it's just a straight up piano ballad, and moments that are just like obnoxious synth patterns that border on IDM that really don't have much purpose being there, but that's just me. finally the new Anthrax album, For All Kings. I was really considering reviewing this when on first listen, but then after a couple more listens, what the initial enjoyment, excitement wore off, and part of that's because I was hoping that this would be better than the new Megadeth. It was by leaps and bounds, but it's not doing anything like new or refreshing or innovative with thrash metal, though I don't expect Anthrax to, honestly, or any of the big four at this point. But these power metals vibe, these overly dramatic vocals that remind me of like Dream Theater in a way, I just don't really vibe with what it's doing, honestly. I mean, there's some good compositions on here. The production works. The soloing and the riffs are well performed. It's just a really corny what Anthrax have came up with, and I don't really get anything other than that. I mean, initially I was like, oh yeah, this is cool, I'm gonna review this, yay! Then I listened to it a couple more times, I'm like, nah, I'm too pressed for time I'm too pressed for time to review this, especially if it's just reliving a power metal sound. Then it is just reinvigorating thrash metal, which I think other bands are doing much better, like Black Breath and arguably High on Fire, Havoc, and Vector. But if you're already an Anthrax fan, then check it out, but I don't think it's going to add on to the legacy that Anthrax already left behind with their 80s and 90s work. So yeah, that's my N.E.T. I got a couple more albums from February that I need to review. Hopefully I can get Sarah Newfield and Macklemore and Ryan Lewis reviewed before Friday. I'm going to be pressed for time with both, so if it doesn't happen on time, it doesn't happen. After that, I'm going to be doing an album of the month video before Friday. So that's it. This is, if you've given some of these albums a listen, what did you think of these albums? Did you like these albums? Did you dislike these albums? Do you hate me for not reviewing them? What should I consider actually reviewing next, or listening to next, at least? This is CW Music Reviews here, signing off.